Hey, welcome back to another video. So I wanted to have a little market discussion and talk a little bit about the future of this set. I've been getting some comments around when the best time to buy is or how to complete a set or that kind of thing. And I think there's a few catalysts in order to really answer those questions with kind of the most information that we have. The first thing really is what's going to happen with the holiday set. We don't know what they plan on reprinting. With the Lord of the Rings set, they did reprint a lot of the existing cards in the set. They did different frames. They obviously did different chase cards with the poster cards and that kind of thing. So I think the birds are safe. I don't think they're going to reprint the birds. That would be a really silly thing for them to do. But I do think that the surge foils, unless they go a different route where they actually make... I mean, I think the smart thing for them to do would be to pick additional characters from each game, because there's a lot of characters still that they didn't do. That would probably be the smart thing, to just expand on it. But they may reprint these, and then, you know, things like Sephiroth, things like Ishitola and Cloud that are demanding these huge premiums, they will soften in price quite a bit, just for the amount of supply that'll hit the market. So that's kind of one catalyst that we don't really know how it's going to play out, and that's kind of causing me to kind of hedge my bets and say, okay, so I mean, I'm not getting rid of any Sephiroths or Clouds. I'm just kind of hoarding those. But things like Ishitola, I'm probably going to offload that Japanese Ishitola that I have. And there's you know, a unique situation with this particular card, just because the Japanese version seems to demand a similar price, if not a slightly higher price than the English version, which is awesome because I just happened to pull that and it's an extra. It's not part of my set. So I'm still I'm just holding my birds for the time being. Don't really know what to do with them, just because I do think that there is probably going to be a peak in the price soon, if it hasn't already happened, at least in the short term. But I'm not worried about the birds in terms of the holiday set. I don't think that they're going to reprint the birds in the holiday set. The other thing that's kind of interesting is I think even with our current box prices, things are out of whack. Things are like way out of whack. Like, now that I've opened so many boxes and I've seen kind of how the rarity works, the surge foils are very rare, even though they are, you know, they're more prevalent than, you know, the birds are, obviously. It's very hard to hit a good surge foil. I mean, that's what I'm kind of finding as I'm going deeper and deeper into more and more boxes. Like, I had that box the other day that I opened Lightning and Tidus in the same pack, and that was epic. But honestly, like, that was the highlight of 2 boxes, was that one pack. The other thing that I'll say is I think that there's some disproportionate value to the standard foil versions of some of these cards, because these cards are just as rare. It's not like I'm pulling these left and right and then never hitting a surge foil or only hitting one surge foil. First of all, I never pulled this in surge foil at all. And I think I've opened... Oh, I'm sorry, that's not true, because I hit it in Japanese in surge foil. But I think total, this is my second foil that I've pulled. So, you know, 2 foils to 1 surge foil in Japanese, but I've never pulled a single English surge foil of this. These I've gotten a little bit luckier on. I've probably pulled maybe 3 or 4 of these foils out of all the boxes, but only pulled 1 of the surges total. So they're pretty rare, is kind of what I'm getting at. And you can't get these in play boxes. You have to get collector boxes. So with the prices of collector boxes being at, what, $1,500 now, I feel like these prices, either the boxes need to go down or things like this need to come up a little bit. The other thing that I think is just underpriced is the Through the Ages foils. I do think that these are very, very hard to hit in foil, at least the ones that you want. I have a ton of the Yuffie versions of this card, but this is the very first Cloud foil that I've actually pulled. I had to buy this version. Did I have to buy this version previously? I forget how this worked. I think I might have... This might actually be my second one. I might be lying to you. I apologize. But anyway, the point being that, you know, things like Stay With Me, I pulled 1 in English, 1 in Japanese for the foil versions. And things like Tara Branford foil, I only pulled one of, period. And I didn't pull a single Tara Branford in non-foil, I don't think. So, I mean, they can just be very, very difficult to pull out of packs. We'll see what the market says, right? Like, the supply will ultimately determine what the prices of these things are. But I do think that things feel a little bit out of whack. I think either the surge foils need to come down a little bit to kind of match some of the rarity of some of these other cards, or I think things like this need to come up in value a little bit, just given the rarity. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say on this. But in terms of kind of what I'm doing, I'm gonna be holding on to all the birds. I think that they're, you know, like I was saying, there's probably a good selling opportunity, but I don't need to sell them right now, so I'm not going to. I'm gonna hold all my Sephiroths and Clouds, and I may sell some of the extras. I may also be down to trade some of the extras that I have, because I have a lot of I just have a lot of duplicates. So I may give up on the Black Chocobo. I've thought about trying to like sell some of the extras that I have and try to like basically fund a Black Chocobo purchase. But then when I'm thinking about having $8,000 to deploy into a collectible or deploy into anything really, I don't think that that's like a worthwhile endeavor. I'm pretty satisfied with having, you know, the birds that I have, and eventually like 2 of them will get sold off and I'll just have the 4 colors. People have been talking to me in the comments about getting the promos, and I think eventually like I'll go after some of that stuff. But the Black Chocobo, not pulling it, it just feels like you know, and this is coming from me, but it feels like an irresponsible deployment of capital, unless I have the intention of going evil investor, where I buy it now, hold it for, you know, 10 years and then resell it for more money, which if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna, you know, for $8,000 you can get a beta mox in that price range, right? I could get like a gem mint ancestral recall. I think that's probably what 8 or 9 is probably what my 9.5 BGS ancestral recall is probably worth. So there's just things that I know I feel a little bit more confident in deploying that much capital into, which is kind of a bummer, because the Black Chocobo was kind of the last piece that I considered that I kind of, you know, consider my set to be incomplete because I don't have. The Gold Chocobo was totally out of reach from the get-go, so I don't really count that one. The promo stuff is promo stuff, and I don't really have any of that included in the set either, so I'm not really super upset about that either. Even the Secret Lair cards like Yojimbo and Shiva, I did get a free, but even those cards, like, those are kind of still extra in my mind. Like, they're just not part of the main set, so I'm not losing any sleep over not having them, but they're attainable in terms of collecting them over time, so I'll probably add them to the collection eventually. But anyway, hopefully you found this video helpful. I mean, I guess just to kind of summarize here, like, I think if you have these cards and you can hold on to them, I would wait till the holiday set gets announced before you really make any big moves. But I think if you have, if you're looking to complete the set and you have extra cards, you know, like an Ishitola, like an extra Ishitola or whatever, I would definitely get, like, offload her and fund, you know, completing the rest of your set. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions. We can chat about it in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one.